Coach, just kind of your thoughts. 5 years since you've hosted, you get a chance to do it again with this senior class. What kind of maybe does that signify of what you guys have been able to accomplish this year?
Yeah, first of all, it's just exciting to be back. 8 straight years, but 5 years, like you mentioned, since we've hosted, and it's hard to remember back then. I think. Back in 2018, it was maybe a little bit of a surprise that we were hosting. This year, I think we kind of knew we could host if we could finish out our season strong. So just, it's a lot of work to go into hosting, but super just exciting that we get to be here in front of our home court and our fans. And, people are actually traveling from all over to come to this match. And it's great to be home and just excited, I think, is the main thing.
For you guys, there was maybe a point in October where it became a little bit uncertain whether or not you were going to be able to host. You hit kind of that tough stretch. You've been able to bounce back. You've won 4 in a row. What was kind of the message to the team during that stretch that maybe you gave or even some of the players in the fifth years gave?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Pac-12 conference is unbelievable. I mean, you say tough stretch, and that was, Stanford, Oregon, USC. Oregon State was probably, that tough loss for us. But, just kind of trying to find our way back, and I think we did that for sure. We really talked about attitude and effort and, just doing what we could do. Hosting was one of our really, our main goals this year, and I think that's really important. To be here in Pullman and be home. And, NCAA travel is crazy. We talked about, the past years, like you get on a plane and you don't even know what airline you're on. Sometimes half the team could be on one flight and half is on another. So to be home and be here in a familiar place, our players get to go to school still, which is very important for them. And, so it's just been great. But, yeah, to be able to host is really important and one of our main goals this season.
Above all else, what's the biggest thing you guys feel like you have to do to win tomorrow?
Oh, man. Grand Canyon, they're great. They play incredible defense. Their outside hitter, Parrott, is really, really good. We've, of course, played against, a lot of teams that have, kind of maybe one really good outside hitter, but we have to serve tough, and we have to do a good job passing so that we can run our offense how we can.
They've won 18 of their 23 matches in sweeps and have only been a part of 4 matches that have gone to 5, and they've lost 3 of those. How can you guys utilize your experience going deeper into matches to win?
Yeah, that's not a coach's favorite thing. The sweeps are great. But yeah, I think we have a lot of experience against some great teams, and knowing that, this is their first run at an NCAA tournament, and so they're hungry. They have a super experienced setter, from this area that's ready to win. And so, having a hungry team come in that from the WAC is great. But, we just have to play our game and be able to kind of settle in. I think there's nerves on both sides as you start the match. I think being home at Bowler helps us a lot. We've played some big matches here, so yeah, we just kind of have to settle in, play our game, and see what we can do, mostly from the service line and then passing as well.
And you talked about the experience there. Magden and Pia both been here every season of their careers, and they both seem very hungry to get past that second round. How do you kind of control that vision to just the first match?
Yeah, first of all, I think that's why they all came back, not just Magda and Pia, but everybody else as well. Hungry to get past the second match. And I know, Pia 2 years ago had an injury and didn't even get to play when we were in Waco. Argentina was our outside hitter at that time. So kind of crazy experience that we've had in the postseason. We had a COVID year as well. So really just trying to bring everything together in this culminating year for them as fifth years, and being at home is super special. So, I know we have big goals and just trying to go one match at a time and really 1 point at a time.
And you talked about the experience of Clara being a fifth year, and, the connection between her and Parrott is roughly 40% of their offense. Without getting too much into the game plan, how have you guys looked to neutralize that?
Yeah, I think it starts at the service line, of course. Getting the other team predictable, of course. But, she's a great player, a great setter, and a great outside hitter. And they have some other pieces to go along with that as well that you have to, take into consideration. But, I think playing in the Pac-12, you think of a block like Magda and Katie. I'm not sure too many people see a block like that, day in and day out. So, we'll play our game plan, and a lot of the time it's for us offensively as well. But they're a great team, very well coached, and it'll be a battle for sure.
You've been to your fair share of tournaments. What, both as a player and a coach, what are the messages that you're passing on to your players about how to handle this moment and not let it be too big?
Yeah, I think being at home helps. To be honest, we have really treated this week like a normal kind of Pac-12 week, and gone to classes, had normal, practices and things like that. So I think that helps a lot. You're not going into a new stadium or a new, somewhere that you've never been. But at the same time, we know these players really want to win. And, but we've had a lot of big matches here in Buller Gym as well. BYU, I know they really wanted to win. Oregon, Stanford, USC, things like that. So just taking that experience and not trying to overplay it as a coach, I think, is really important.
What's your favorite tournament memory that you're hoping to replace in this month?
Oh, gosh. I mean, it's hard. That's hard for me because I've been in a lot of them as both a player and as a coach. As a player, seems like 100 years ago. I don't think we hosted first rounds and things like that. It seemed like we kind of won easily. So I think my favorite memory is probably beating Tennessee to go to the Sweet 16 for sure. Buller was packed and really exciting for that team to get that memory and that win.
Any final questions for Coach Greeny?
What boots are you wearing tomorrow?
Oh my gosh. It's like literally the hardest thing I do. It's not even game planning. It's not scouting. It's like, what boots am I going to wear? So I don't know yet, but it'll be something.